Hi, you're listening to This Is Not Your Practice Life. I'm your host, Macy Renee, and we are going on a journey together, my friends. I'm a certified life and emotional intelligence coach. And if you really want to step into your highest self, there are a few non-negotiables you're going to have to learn, and I am just the person to help you do it. No matter your past, I'm here to help you create a more fulfilling future. So stick around with me. Not only will I teach you how to navigate your brain's daily mind drama, but I'll help you actually understand your mind, your emotions, why you do the things you do, and why others do the things they do. Most importantly, I'll help you build the self-awareness skills to create whatever results you want. It's never too late to change the trajectory of your life. After all, this is not your practice life. Good morning. Welcome back to another episode of This Is Not Your Practice Life podcast. I'm Macy Renee, and I am so thrilled to have you joining me this morning. If you're brand new here, welcome to the podcast. And if you're a returning listener, as always, I am so excited to have you back. All right, really quickly before we get into today's topic, which by the way is going to be about the consequences of hustle. So if you have a hustle mentality, this is going to be the episode for you. But before we get into that, I want to remind you of the enrollment for the hybrid experience. It is going on all the way through the 31st of March, so you can join all the way up through the 31st of March. However, the caveat to that is I created a customized workbook that is going to help you along in this program. And in order for you to receive it on time, by the time the program actually starts, which our first call is on April 4th, you will want to have signed up. I've moved this back a little bit. By March 23rd, because I am getting the workbooks this week. I am getting all the materials and gift boxes to put them all together because I'm so excited to make it gorgeous for you guys. And I will be mailing them all out by Friday. So if you're wanting to make sure that you get access to the workbook at no cost to you, then make sure that you sign by March 23rd, which is this coming Thursday, so that I can mail you the materials and you have them by the time we get started together on April 4th. Otherwise, you will just need to log into the online portal that you'll get access to and download and print it all yourself. Okay, so I want to take care of that for you, but I need it done in a timely manner to do so that you're not getting things late. All right, I'm so excited, guys. Really quickly, also, I want to just say I canceled the reservation on the very first retreat home that was booked for this program. And the reason being is that I just, from the get-go, found a few houses that I loved. I should say estates, because they're multi-million-dollar estates. And, looking at the pricing of all of them, it was like, who am I to book a place like this? Like, are you out of your mind? But I also, this is a running joke with me and my best friend and my grandma and everything. We are Libras. And if you're a Libra out there, I don't know if you deal with this, but I've never met a Libra really who isn't like this, that loves doing things really big, and sometimes we're really fancy schmancy. I mean, we can go both ways, but we tend to, I think, a lot of times love these luxurious experiences. And even if it's not luxury experiences, it's like once our mind is made up or set on something, not a lot can compensate until it has to be that thing. And it's like a beautiful thing and also the biggest flaw ever. Because sometimes it means in life you're going to be disappointed. Like when you have this expectation that it's got to be this certain way and then it doesn't go that certain way. But when it does, man, is it fantastic. So anyways, I booked a gorgeous retreat home the first, when I originally booked, and there was nothing wrong with it. It was absolutely stunning. But every time I looked at the pictures, something in my spirit was like, ugh, it just doesn't feel like the one. And I had sent it to friends and I'm like, what do you think about this? First impressions. And they loved it. They're like, it's amazing. It's so luxurious. They're going to absolutely love it. And it didn't matter how much they validated me. It was like in my spirit, I'm like, ugh. But there's these other ones that are just over the top. Like they're just over the top. And I kept looking at the prices and like trying to justify it. And it scared the shit out of me. And I just thought, oh my God, Macy, like seriously, who are you to do this? Like you need to wait until you reach XYZ level to book something like this. And then I continued to coach myself and coach myself and coach myself. And finally it was like, you know what? No, I'm just going to step into this woman now that books this now, because I feel so like, I don't even know what the word is, but I feel one, is gratitude, but it's something even deeper and bigger than that, of just what the hybrid experience I feel is going to be. It just feels life-changing, not only for my clients, but even like an up-leveling for me. And I started talking to the company that, takes care of this estate, and was asking a million questions and just all of the things. And whenever I got pictures, because it's brand new, like it's still in the process of being built and finished up, and whenever they sent me the photos, I actually, like, I had such heart palpitations. I thought I was going to pass out or puke. So glamorous, right? I really did. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to like hurl everywhere. I'm so excited. I'm so like anxious and nervous. And it was just that feeling that I wanted to have from the very, very beginning of what I wanted my clients to get to experience. Because in my life, when I have put myself in powerful rooms and in powerful experiences, even when I didn't feel worthy or deserving of being there, because my brain was, telling me I was less than or didn't deserve it, or whatever mean thoughts our brain sometimes comes up with, when I've put myself in those positions anyways, it has done something in my spirit that has allowed me to like rise up and level up to make those experiences feel normal to my brain, so that I, am not, what's the word, like beating myself up for getting to have that experience just because it's so different from the way that I grew up. And I wanted my clients to have this experience that just feels very up-leveling in their life. I know what it's done for me whenever I have experienced that, whether it was in coaching programs or personal development, seminars, or just things that I've put myself in to grow. When I've done that, it has shifted so many things in me, things that I didn't even know I wanted to shift until I was put in those situations. And as soon as I saw this estate and the pictures became available, it was like, that is the feeling that I wanted to have from the first booking that I just couldn't get to. So I'm literally so excited. I'm so excited. If you're on my email list, I sent out sneak peek photos today, and I'll do a few sneak peeks on my social media. But I'm just so excited for all of you that are going to be in that room. So again, sign up by March 23rd in order to make sure you get a free copy and gift box with the workbook, so I can mail it your way. Otherwise, you can join until March 31st. You'll just need to download and print all those materials at your own cost for yourself. But either way, I'm so excited to have you. It's going to be such a beautiful program and such a beautiful experience. And I can't wait. So if you have questions, you can reach out to me. You can schedule a consult. We'll talk about it and figure out, whether it's the hybrid experience or another offer of mine that suits you better. We'll talk about it and figure out where you need to be if you're looking for the kind of next step in your life and working with a coach. So, all right, I know that was a long intro. I'm sorry, but I'm just so excited. I can hardly handle myself. And we're going to talk about the consequences of hustle. So one of the things that I coach on the most, because I coach people both in life and people in business, and whether it's life or it's business, the biggest pattern that I see that becomes very problematic for you and your goals is when you believe you need to be hustling. Or when there's this idea that you've been given from other people, maybe even mentors or coaches or just people that you admire, using a lot of hustle kind of language. Like you need to hustle to get what you want, you need to hustle to get where you're going. And I think overall, like whenever, I think of hustle, like for me, the definition a lot of times means working hard, and, doing it in such a way that you don't really have excuses for yourself. Like you just hustle and get things done. That's kind of how I think of hustle. But I think what tends to happen, regardless of what I think about the definition or what the definition maybe actually is, or your definition of it, I think what happens is people get very frazzled and start to feel out of control. And one thing that doesn't work whenever you're going for your goals is when you start to feel as if you have lost control. So the way that this presents itself, that I have seen in clients that I've coached over and over and over and over and over again, multiple clients, multiple income streams, multiple businesses, just multiple life experiences, it really doesn't matter. The way that this shows up every single time is I need to be doing more. There's more that I need to be doing. I don't have time to rest. I need to hustle and get things done. And then the result of that kind of language and behavior to yourself is that you actually end up beating yourself up, not doing any of the productive things you could be doing. Like you end up doing nothing at all, but like sulking and watching Netflix and laying in bed, feeling sorry for yourself because what you've done is you've burnt yourself out. And when you have burnt yourself out, then you take away that passionate fire for why you started what you're doing or why you had that goal to begin with, right? So it's kind of like if your goal is to make a certain amount of money in a year and you're like, I'm going to hustle and just make that amount of money. What I see a lot of times is that people are so burnt out that they question whether they're even passionate about the thing that they were doing in the first place, or they question their sanity, or they feel really fatigued and like they need a lot of rest. And they indulge in confusion. If I don't know what to do next, I don't even know where to get started. I feel like I needed a break for my mental health and now I've lost momentum. I don't know where to go from here. And so if any of this language is sounding familiar, you've likely been in a hustle mentality. And, there's just huge consequences to that. That being, like I said, burning yourself out, then questioning if you're even passionate about the thing that you were once passionate about just because you've overworked yourself. It's also the consequence of kind of losing yourself to whatever your goal is, because you almost believe there's certain actions you have to take to be successful, and that if you don't take more action or do more in general, that you're not going to create the result that you want in your life. And it's just not true, you guys. Like, you can create a life without the hustle mentality. I know this because I have really worked on embodying what this means for the last year and a half specifically. So early on in my business, I would say that I was hustling. Like I needed to hustle to get things done. I needed to hustle in order to get my results. And I was constantly showing up, doing all of the things. And a lot of times, even if whether I did 5 things or 20 things, I was getting the same results. So specifically with business owners, what I see is them saying things like, I need to market, I need to do social media, I need to make posts, I need to send out emails, I need to balance my books, I need to get in touch with so-and-so that's going to help me with blah, blah, blah. I need a photo shoot. I need all these things, right? They're all actions. And we think that by adding more actions, we'll get more results. By doing more, we'll get more, is kind of the mentality that I see. But it's actually, I love the phrase, less is more, because less is more is truly a way to build a life, whether it's life or business, build results that you want without sacrificing your mental, emotional, or physical well-being. Okay, so sure, people can get results from having a hustle mentality, and there are a lot of people out there that do. I think that men in general tend to really go for the hustle mentality. It's that masculine energy of like, get it done, fix problems as they arise, go, 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 go. We don't take breaks, we don't sleep, we don't rest, we hustle, right? I think that it's very common to see in this masculine kind of energy. And for women, women that tend to fall more masculine, which I've got a podcast kind of talking about the difference in feminine and masculine energy. But for women that tend to fall more masculine, especially in business, hustle might be a part of their language. If I just do it, I get it done. I have this whole to-do task list. And they'll do that as long as they can until they start to burn out. And the reason for women specifically that I think they burn out at a much faster rate than men is because in feminine energy, you're meant to be able to do things with ease and calmness and certainty and trust. And it's that whole less is more. And our system is meant to operate that way and meant to, work in that way with our skills. So when we're going against our energy, when we're going against our skill, we tend to burn ourselves out, fatigue, feel like we're not mentally, emotionally, physically okay. And then we indulge in this, overabundance of rest, thinking, well, I'll do it when, aka when I feel better, when I'm rested. And then when it's time to take action, then we're like, well, I'm confused. I don't even know what to do. I'm not getting the results I want. Whether I do 5 things or 20 things, I always end up here and it's not giving me what I want in life. And this is the place that I lived the first few years of my business. And I didn't like it because I knew that I loved coaching and I knew that I loved my clients. But what I could sense happening very quickly was that if I kept up the pace at which I was going to burn myself out and not feel as lit up about the work that I am so passionate about. So even though logically I knew that I was passionate for my job as an entrepreneur and the, role I play in coaching people and helping them in their life, although logically I know that I'm very passionate about that, my habits and my hustle were taking me the opposite direction of I'm burning myself out. I don't know if I'll want to do this forever. This feels really hard. I just don't know. And so what I invited within myself was the ability to embody what building a business would look like if I just did not believe that I had to hustle to get results and that I could work hard, which is different than hustle, right? Working hard is showing up, following through with the things that you say you're going to do, like being disciplined and getting things done. But it doesn't mean doing more out of lack of belief. So this might sound a little bit complex. I'll go into it very gently, I guess you could say, and not as on a large scale as I will in the hybrid experience, because this is something that we're going to kind of talk about. But basically, it's basically like recognizing that when you're in hustle, a lot of times it is the lack of belief that doing less is more. That you can take a step back and take care of yourself and create more balance in your life without it meaning that you're losing momentum. And what I have noticed in coaching a lot of brains is that people believe that if they slow down or if they stop the hustle, that their results are not going to show up, that everything's going to change. And the key factor is that sometimes it does, simply because someone who has built an entire life around hustle has been used to getting a result one way. So whenever they start to slow that down or change that, the people that they attract in their life, the results that they attract in their life will be different because they're showing up differently. So, in other words, if you've been used to hustling one way and then you're burning yourself out and you recognize that something needs to change, when you go to change that, you might find that your results are different than they used to be because you're shifting the way that you operate. And the key thing here is that it doesn't mean that anything has gone wrong when you see that change in momentum. It means that you're gearing up to create the momentum in a different way. So I see this a lot with people who have money goals. Like, let's say I coach a lot of coaches for like part-time for my coach in her program. And let's say that I have a client through her program that is making $500,000 a year, but at the expense of hustle. So they're really tired. They are burning themselves out. They're running themselves into the ground. They're trying to manage a few people, maybe like a VA, a virtual assistant, or, a social media manager. And they're working on their taxes, and they're doing a million things. And they get to a point where they realize, like, I don't have a good relationship with my partner because I'm not present, and I barely see my kids, and I feel like I don't have the time to take a break or to even vacation away from my team, because if I step away, everything's going to fall apart. I'm not going to make my $500,000 anymore, and I'm going to be back at ground zero. And that is such a scary place for their brain to be, that they are willing to continue the cycle of, I'm going to burn myself out, hate my career, and end up quitting, not because I, actually hate this, like what I'm doing, but because I have hustled for so long, my body, my mental, my emotional state cannot handle it anymore. So a lot of times what we coach on is, okay, what are your goals? Like, how do you want to build your business? What do you want to be able to do in your personal life? Do you want to be more present with your kids and with your family? Do you want to go on more dates? Like, what would life look like if you eliminated hustle? And they have to be willing to leave that hustle mentality part to the wayside, right? Push it away to the wayside, in order to step into the version of themselves that can create $500,000 with more ease and trust and hard work, yes, but in a completely different mental and emotional state than maybe what they've been used to building. And initially, as they're doing that, their income might drop. Let's say it drops to $300,000 the next year. What is really important is making sure that, like, for instance, if this is happening to you or has happened to you, that you don't consider it a failure, or that you've done something wrong, or that you've permanently damaged yourself and lost momentum. You're just shifting into a new version of yourself that requires a different level of skill and is learning how to build back up to that level and beyond, as the person who is not willing to do it on burnout, is not willing to negotiate your mental and emotional health in exchange for whatever your end result or goal is. Does that make sense? So I see this a lot happening to people in all different industries. It's not just the coaching industry. It's not just people in business. Like, people that have this hustle mentality will often get themselves into situations where they don't even know really truly what they want, only because their system is so overloaded that it goes into confusion as a protective mechanism for rest. So what I've also seen is people that serve clients, for instance, where they get so tired, they start wishing for clients to cancel. I used to do this as an OT, you guys. I'm like not making fun of anybody who does this, because I used to have days like this where I was hustling so hard as an OT to have as many kids as possible to try and increase my income, that I literally would have days where I was so tired. I would just like pray to God, like, please let someone cancel. Please let them forget about the session. please let them text me and say like they forgot and they went to the park with their kid and they just can't do the session today, or that the kid is with a grandparent and the grandparent doesn't, feel comfortable with OT, whatever it was. Like I was praying for every reason to have a cancellation, not because I didn't love my work as an OT, but because I had like hustled myself to the point of burnout. And I see this with people where they will literally be wishing for clients to not show up. But then the caveat to that is that they'll be like, oh, I'm not hitting my goals in my business or in my career or the goals that I have for myself, and I don't know why. And it's so funny because literally their brain will not see it. And this is the power of having a coach. Like I will just look at them and I'm like, you don't know why you're not getting what you want? And they're like, no, like I'm doing all of the things. I'm taking all of the actions. I'm hustling. I'm doing all of the things. I'm so tired. I just want to break. I just want to stop. And I'm like, interesting. So you're showing up full force and hustle. But your subconscious brain is basically pushing away all potential clients and income because your subconscious is tired and you're not acknowledging your subconscious. And then it's like their brain explodes. They're like, oh my God, yeah, I'm not getting the result that I want because I'm secretively wishing that they won't come because I'm so tired because I have been hustling. And I'm like, yeah, that doesn't feel good. Do you want to continue that pattern? So whatever it is that you're doing, whether you have fitness goals, right? And you're hustling, you're going to the gym 7 days a week, you're eating dry chicken and rice every single day and broccoli, hustling, right? Eventually you're going to get to the point where you literally despise even taking care of your health or working out or eating quote unquote healthy because you're doing it in the name of hustle. And again, I really believe that hustle is a lot of times associated with lack of believing that we can get results through ease, through trust, through flow, through, in a way that feels good to us. Our brain has a hard time believing that we can, attain these amazing things without burning ourselves out. But the truth is we can. And I know because I have done it. So I practiced this all last year. Every time my brain was like, you should be posting more, you should be sending more emails, you should be doing this more or watching more modules or getting even more coaching. Like every single time my brain would offer that, I would have to lean into like, what would my business look like if I just didn't believe that I had to hustle? What would my life look like if I just didn't believe that I had to hustle? How would I show up then? And I took aligned action from the version of myself that didn't believe in the hustle. And it changed everything. In fact, I made the most money I have ever made in my business last year without any overworking, without any sacrificing, without any of the I have to, or it's all going to fall apart. I just chose to never believe that last year. After multiple years of believing that and it feeling painful and miserable, I just chose that's not what we believe anymore. We're not going to do that. Okay? And so I just wanted to share that with you because I see it happening so much. And I think that there is a much better way to go about your goals than feeling like you have to hustle and sacrifice your mental, emotional, and physical well-being to get what you want. And if you're interested in learning how on a much deeper level and go into the skills to really get there, the mastery of it all, I will share all the things with you in the hybrid experience that I talked about in the beginning. And if you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out at any time. All right, I'll see you next week. Bye, guys. Hey there. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of This Is Not Your Practice Life podcast. If you'd like to connect on social media, you can find me on both Instagram and Facebook at Macy Renee Coaching. And if you want to stay up to date on all of my offers, announcements, and inspirational emails, you can join my email list at MacyRenee.com. In addition, if there's a way that I can further support you in your coaching journey, you can schedule a free 60-minute consult at MacyRenee.com anytime you want so we can discuss the best options for you. I look forward to seeing you next week, and I hope you have an amazing day. Bye.